Hello again, folks. Welcome to the Dark Hollow Garage. I got something I want to show you. I don't know, probably 3 years ago. I did a custom paint job on my truck. Now, I got the idea from watching Rat Rod TV show out in Vegas that was on Discovery Channel back then. And it's sinfully easy to do. Okay? I'll give you a quick tip here, and then I'll show you the pictures, and we'll talk about them in a slideshow and a narration. But all you need to do this paint job is a quart of water-based Rust-Oleum paint. Okay? And then you need these. Okay? Just a couple of sprayers that you get at the Walmart. Okay? And I'll explain what we do with these in the pictures coming up. Come on, check them out. Hey folks, welcome to the Dark Hollow Garage. Alright, let's get into it. So, in the left of the picture here is my gold 1996 Chevrolet 454 3/4 ton shop truck. The old Dark Hollow shop truck. Well, it's got hail dents in it. It's got peeling paint. Just looks terrible. So one day after watching that TV show, they had a short blip. A short blip of how they were doing this style paint. And I thought, well, let me try this out. So let's dive into it. I'll show you how I did it. Okay, as you can see here, the peeling paint. It looks terrible. I mean, I'm delivering product to stores that I do powder coat work for on their flat metal art. And it's just not a very becoming truck. So I had a little bit of time on my hands and I decided to get after it. Okay, so here's a little close-up of what it looks like. Now, with those spray bottles, you open your quart of Rust-Oleum water-based paint. You pour a little bit into the bottom of the spray bottle, say maybe a half an inch. And then you put, probably 3 inches of water into the spray bottle. You shake it up really good. Well, you first spray it. If you see in this picture, there's some really faint lines. They don't show up very well. Well, they're the first round that you do. Then you add more paint and less water, and you spray it about 3 or 4 times. And pretty soon, the darker paint starts to take over as it drips down. And in between coats, as you're changing your thickness of your paint or thinness of your paint, you let it air dry. Oh, and I forgot to mention, before you even do this, of course, you got to sand the truck, which I used 220 and 120 grit dry sandpaper. Okay, enough of this picture. Let's move on to a broader shot, and we'll discuss it as the other pictures come by. Now, here's what it starts to come to look like. Okay, now there is some airbrushing in here, as you can see, but that comes at the very end, just before you clear coat. But you see how it's starting to get darker and darker, and it's getting its lines in it, and it starts to take on its own little bit of character. And man, I can't tell you how many comments and compliments I've had on this paint. One guy swore up and down to his buddies that were standing around my truck that it was a wrap, and I had to explain to him how I did it with actual paint. It really blew them away. And as we get into this picture, you can see actually how dark that bedside has gotten compared to the rest of the truck, the way it used to look. As I said before, it's easy to do, but it does take a little bit of time. You got to be patient. And here she's starting to really take on a whole new look. Now, of course, it's done with the spray bottles with the lines running down, but I did go back in and start airbrushing with a little bit of a brown along with some more black diluted with water in the airbrush. And like I said, this is my Dark Hollow delivery truck. So I did this over time. I didn't do it all at once because I needed it for work. But at this point, it sure was coming around. It was starting to look pretty cool. Phew, now the passenger side's already done. It's not clear coated yet, but all the water paint work is finished. And now it's really taken on a crazy look. I mean, I've never seen any vehicles in any of the towns I've ever lived in that look like this. And here's the tailgate work. Funny thing about this tailgate is when I first did it, people backed away. They didn't tailgate me anymore. I guess they thought some greasy, oily stuff was going to get on their car following me too close. Now, when I did the hood, gravity helped me out here, because I put the rear end of the truck way higher than the front of the truck, and of course did my 5 different mixtures of thickness of the paint to get the different layers and a few different colors, but gravity is what made it look like this. It really did come out looking pretty darn cool, I gotta say. It's pretty neat. And I did have to tape off the grill, you know, and mask it so it didn't get paint all over it. And now we're on to the driver's side. A week's gone by, was using the truck for deliveries and so on, but here we are back to the 5 different thicknesses of spray bottle paint, you know, diluted with water and some airbrushing action mixed in too. So I do powder coating on flat metal art, but I also do hydrographics, hydro dipping if you will. So I figured, what the heck, I'm going to hydro dip my gas tank cover. That added a little touch of something there. Okay, so now we're going to show you the front and rear 3/4 view photographs. It is now clear coated with spray bombs, satin clear, Rust-Oleum spray bombs. So all you've got here, really, in a nutshell, is diluted Rust-Oleum outdoor enamel and also diluted into airbrushing. Very little money spent and only done when I had the time to be able to do it. After I finished doing all the water-based paint work, I washed it really good with Dawn dishwashing liquid. And once again, before clear coating it, you know, I did it one panel at a time when I had time to do it. So the truck was being used for work. And when I had the time, I went ahead and masked off, you know, the glass and the wheels and the grill and the bumpers and what have you, and clear coated it with the rattle can clear coat when I got a chance. But I do have to forewarn you, if you're going to drive a truck around that looks like this, be prepared to have to explain how you did it. That quick trip to the convenience store could turn out to be a long one when they see it. We went ahead and added a topper to it because we haul product with it, and distressed it a little bit, tried to make it match best I could. Went ahead and built a bed slider in it to be able to pull my product out easily accessible, and now we got a finished shop truck. Then I went ahead and made myself a dark hollow license plate for the front, powder coated it all up. Yeah, shop truck complete. Maybe someday this will be my tow vehicle to the no-name nationals to haul my Tempest on a trailer with. We'll see. I've got pictures somewhere building that push bar on the front of it. I don't know where they're at. I don't know. That'll be something for another time. Well, that's my dark hollow shop truck paint job. Just diluted Rust-Oleum in a quart, using spray bottles, and of course an airbrush. That was an afterthought. I thought it looked pretty cool if I airbrushed some drips into it, you know, around the windows and stuff. But thanks for stopping in and checking it out. I hope the slideshow wasn't too boring, but you know, I never videotaped this stuff when I used to do it. I just took pictures. But I appreciate y'all stopping in again. I'll see you next time.